Hi everyone, and welcome back to Hobby World in my From Scratch to Track build series, where I'm building a complete slot car track in just 7 days. And that is a massive project, and yesterday I got a lot of work done. Didn't quite get as far as I should, but I'll catch up today. So yesterday I managed to build the tabletops, 2 pieces. They align, they fit perfectly together here. And they are modular, so they can be removed, the track can be packed away and stored. And I managed to make all of these legs down here that can be folded together, so they can also be stored fairly easy. This track is made so it can be moved around. Today I'm going to focus on making the layout of the track, getting all of the pieces on the table surface. And I need to use as many of the track pieces I have as possible, because this is more or less a cleanup job. I'm trying to get my tracks out of storage and get them in use. And I'm also going to work on the landscape, so I will cut a lot of styrofoam, I will make some height differences, I will make room for bridges, tunnels and so on to optimize the use of track pieces. So I think this is going to be a really exciting episode. I hope you're going to enjoy it. So let's just get started, because there is a lot of work to do. Well, let's just start with a quick overview. I managed to do all of this before I even started filming, because I got a bit carried away and I wanted to see how I could make this. Usually when making a track, I would start using a piece of software and designing the entire layout on my computer, and then I would acquire the track pieces I needed, and then I'll build a track and the surface. But this time I had 2 sheets of wood here laying around. I decided that was going to be the base or the tabletop for my track. So designed those, made those, built that, and now I've just thrown all of the track pieces on top of the surface here, and I'm just going to click all of this together until I have used as many pieces as possible and I am satisfied with the result. So that's basically how I'm going to build this track. On a closer look, you might see that there is only these 90-degree turns, which is actually quite horrible, as I would have liked to have several other radius for turns. But all of my track pieces for this track has been bought used for not that much money, and they were those starter sets from Career Go, and they basically just had these and straights. So I haven't got any other radius, and I'm not going to buy anything for this track, because this was meant as a quick, easy project where I used some of the track pieces I had laying around, so I could get my storage cleaned up a bit and get some good use out of the track pieces. So I'm going to use as many of these 90-degree turns as possible. I might be experimenting a bit with cutting these ones up in the middle and thereby creating some other radius I might be able to use. But let's just see how much time I got, and if I can get a good layout with the stuff I got here, then I'm probably going to run with that. So nothing else to say, let's just get this layout built, made, designed. So let's put some pieces on the surface and see how it turns out. Definitely going in the right direction. I have added some styrofoam to sort of raise the track pieces where I want them to be raised, so I can get an idea of the height differences. I am considering making it even higher over here, but that is consideration right now. But I would really like to have several layers of the height, so I have a lot of depth in the track, because I think that's going to look incredible. So everywhere we have these gaps at the moment, and I am going to fill out some of this up with styrofoam, but basically there will either be bridges or there will be tunnels. And tunnels are a bit, I don't know, sometimes it can be a bit difficult getting your cars out of them if you crash inside them, but the chance or risk of crashing inside the tunnel is not very large, as it's a straight. Usually it's straight, so I'm probably going to make some tunnels, and then I'm going to make some bridges. All of this is going to be made as rock and rock surface. It is a mountain area, and I have decided that when I have some overhangs of track pieces like this, instead of making an elaborate bridge over here, I'm probably just going to make some pillars that goes up here from the bottom, making it look more or less like some kind of mining area. So I'm going to do this really fragile wooden bridge along all of this, the bottom of the track, and then pillars in wood that keeps the track up to sort of like give the aesthetic look of a mine on the track. And that will also give me the opportunity of painting something with wood colors that is a really nice contrast to the probably a lot of grey and green on this track. So far, so good. I think this is beginning to take shape. I decided to do a quick test, so I've just connected the wires here and a power supply down there, so I can actually see if the cars can run on this. So that's going to be really exciting. So I'll just place the camera and let's see if the car can actually take a lap. Well, that seemed to work. Nice little run here. It got a bit dusty. I think these tracks have been laying dormant in a box for way too long. So that's nice to getting them out here and starting to drive on them. I've decided to use alternative power supply instead of the ones delivered together with the track pieces, as I increased the voltage a bit. The Carrera Go series, you correct me if I'm wrong, but it seemed like it's made for kids, and when using or running the normal power supplies, it's basically impossible to get the cars to fall off the track, and I really like a challenge. So I have increased the voltage to around 20-21 volts instead of the 14, and it makes the cars drive a lot better, and you can actually crash the cars now if you want. So that increases the challenge, and as we usually use these tracks for competition, that is a major part of everything. So very happy, this works. Now I'll have to build the rest of the styrofoam surface here. You might have noticed that I'm using this white styrofoam here, and that's because it's very cheap, and I'm basically using that for the initial layer. So the bottom layer will be this white stuff. The basic layout of the track is as ready as I'm going to get it. I have used a lot of this white styrofoam. The next step is gluing everything in place, and when that is done, I can start adding the texture using the blue foam, and then it's time to paint everything up, and that's probably also going to take at least a day. So I'm going to see if I can get this finished today so the glue can dry until tomorrow. A bit afraid that I'm not going to get the time to do any more today because we're getting some guests over, so my 7-day build here is a bit compromised. But doesn't matter, I'm still going to make it. I managed to get all of this built today, all of that white styrofoam, and I know it doesn't look very well at the moment, but it will once I add the blue stuff, texture it and get it painted. So tomorrow I'll have a massive task at my hands. I'll need to add all of that blue stuff pretty early in the day so I can manage to get the glue to settle just enough so I can give it a base coat of grey. There are several ways you can paint mountains, but one of the quicker ones is I'm going for the quick one, I have to admit, because with this deadline I'm going to do it as fast as possible. So I'm going to paint it grey, do some dry brushing. I have some weathering techniques I'm going to use, and then some pigments, but I'll explain that when I get to the painting process. But I am satisfied with what I managed to do today. So I got the layout of the track. I tested the track, it works. It's actually a pretty nice track. Even though it has all of these height differences, you are still able to see the cars run around. There isn't that many angles you can't see the cars, so that's pretty cool. And I'm very satisfied with it so far, but I have a huge task tomorrow. So the two hot wire cutters here have definitely proven themselves worthy, because they just worked flawlessly. I have had no problems with them, so they have done exactly what they should do. So very satisfied with it so far. Well, unfortunately I didn't manage to do all of the work on the track today as I had planned, but I'll catch that up tomorrow. So until then, I sincerely hope you've enjoyed watching this episode, and as always, I appreciate comments and feedback, so feel free to throw down a comment in the section below, and leave a like, and if you enjoyed the content here, please subscribe to the channel. That will really help me a lot. So looking forward to sharing the next video with you all, and happy racing everyone.